Now, for those people who are keen to learn about the source or where the 5 GST formulas come from, I will show you right now. Just remember that the derivation of these formulas are applicable when the rate is 10%. So let's just get started with equation number 1. Well, equation number 1, we don't need to prove it. It's straightforward. It states that the GST amount is equal to the price, including GST, minus price excluding GST. Equation number 2. It states that the GST amount is equal to PE over 10, or the 10th of the retail recommended price. So where does this 10 come from? Well, to understand the origin of this formula, we need to understand the GST requirement, or what the taxman wants from the retailer. The taxman states that the GST amount must be equal to 10% of the retail recommended price. So if you translate this into a formula, the GST requirement is that it must be equal to 10% of the price excluding GST, which is the retailer recommended price. So this 10%, if we convert this into a ratio, becomes 10 over 100 times PE. However, 10 over 100, if you simplify it, that equals to 1 over 10. If we come and replace it here, it becomes 1 over 10 times PE. You can also write it as follows, PE over 10. And that's equation number 2. Again, if you look at it from the GST or the taxman perspective, he is asking the retailer to actually pay him back or give him 1/10 of the retailer recommended price. He's not asking him to give him part of his share. So if you just look here and at the whole block here, the price excluding GST, okay, excluding GST, and we divide this into exactly 10 segments. Okay, the taxman is telling the retailer, I want you to take one part, any part, and then add it on top of it, and that becomes the GST amount, and I want you to give it back to me. I don't want to take anything from the retailer. I actually want you to give me 1/10 and put it on top of the retail recommended price and call this the GST amount, which you have to pay back to the taxman. So that's what the GST formula number 2 implies. It means that a taxman wants 1/10 of the price excluding GST. Now moving on to equation number 3, where GST is equal to PI over 11. To prove equation number 3, we will have to use equation number 1 and equation number 2. So I'm going to rewrite both equations here. That's number 1 and number 2. Now, at the moment, GST is the subject in this formula. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to make PE the subject. So in other words, PE is equal to 10 times GST. So it's the same formula here, but just rearranging it to make PE the subject. And I'm going to call this equation number 2A. Now, if I come to equation number 1 and rewrite it as follows, GST is equal to PI, but this time PE will be replaced with equation 2A. It becomes 10 times the GST amount. I'm going to take the GST term on one side of the equations. So it becomes GST plus 10 GST is equal to PI. So when you take this to the other side of the equation, you have to change the sign. Now, if I take GST as a common factor, it becomes 1 plus 10 equal PI. And so that's, in other words, 11 GST equal to PI. I divide both sides of the equation by 11. They cancel out. And I'm left with GST equal PI over 11. Hence equation number 3. So another way of reading equation number 3 is that the GST amount is equal to 1/11th, this time 1/11th of the total money collected from the customer, which is the price, including GST. So it's either the GST amount is equal to 1/10 of the recommended retail price, or 1/11th of the price, including GST, or the price paid by the customer. So in either cases, you will get exactly the same answer. Now let's go ahead and prove equation number 4 and equation number 5. Starting with equation number 4, to prove equation number 4, we need to understand what the requirement is in terms of the price including GST. Now the price including GST, or from a tax point of view, is equal to the price excluding GST plus the GST amount, which is 10% of the price excluding GST. So what the customer is paying, he's paying the retailer share, that's the retailer amount of money, but also he's paying the GST amount, and that GST amount is equal to 10% of the retailer recommended selling price. Now with that in mind, we can rewrite the equation as follows: PE plus 10% as a ratio is equal to 10 over 100 PE, but again, that equal to 1 over 10, which is equal to PE plus 1 over 10 PE. Now I'm going to go and take PE, the common factor, becomes 1 plus 1 over 10. And if we take 10 as a common denominator, and do some additions here, 11 over 10. But 11 over 10, if you just punch in the number, the calculator is equal to 1.1. So that's why I can rewrite the equation as 1.1 PE, and that is the price including GST, hence proving equation number 4. Now to prove equation number 5 here, let me just make some room. All what we're doing here, we're simply rearranging equation number 5, equation number 4. So if I come here and write equation number 4, PI equal 1.1 PE, so that's number 4, I can divide both sides by 1.1, and that cancels out, becomes PI over 1.1 equal to PE. Now you can flip the equation, PE equal PI over 1.1, and that is equation number 5. So once you prove equation number 4, then equation number 5 is straightforward.